Howdy, y'all. It is Austin Jackson here with the Houston is Home podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. Today, we've got a special episode. I'm going to actually pass it over to my co-host, Charity Ellis. She's going to be talking with Mary Vazquez of the United Way of Greater Houston. So stick around, stay tuned, and learn more about Houston and what it's like calling Houston home.
Hi, this is Charity Ellis, host of the Houston is Home podcast, where we celebrate the people and places that make Houston home. And I'm so excited about today's conversation because we have with us Mary Vazquez, who is the Vice President of Community Outreach for the United Way of Greater Houston. And as Houstonians, it's so important that we know about the United Way when we need help ourselves so that we can find them. And also when our fellow Houstonians need help, that we can help them get in touch with the services that they need. So welcome, Mary. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. We're excited about this conversation with you and really spreading the word about the United Way and how people can find help. So I was reading up on this and I read that the 211 Texas helpline handles over 1.3 million calls annually. Wow. So some people may not even know what the United Way of Greater Houston is or what the helpline is. Can you just walk us through who the United Way is and what the helpline is about as well?
Certainly. The United Way of Greater Houston is in our community every single day, empowering and engaging, caring individuals and helping improve our community. And we do that in Harris County, Fort Bend County, Montgomery County, and Waller County. That is our service reach. But our reach with 211 Texas is much broader. With 211, we answer calls for the Gulf Coast region, the Coastal Bend region, and the Tarrant County region. 211 is a free information referral helpline that connects callers to social services in our community. And you are correct. We answered 1.3 million connections in last year, and to date we are experiencing a 10% increase in those calls. So we've already answered over 1.2 million connections this year. And so the needs have just never been greater. 211 does an incredible job of having staff professionals that help engage the callers and identifying the needs and being able to connect them to those resources.
Absolutely. Wow. Already on track for 1.2 million calls. I can imagine that during this year of the global pandemic. Wow. So tell us about you and your role at the United Way specifically.
Sure. So I'm Vice President of Community Outreach, and I provide leadership and oversight over 4 areas. Our 211 Texas United Way helpline, which, as I mentioned, is that free information referral helpline. I also provide oversight over our United Way nonprofit connection work, which is capacity building and nonprofit management, training and coaching for nonprofits to help them improve their capacity to deliver these services. My area also includes our United Way centers. We have 4 facilities in our outlying areas, one in the Bay Area in Clear Lake, one in Montgomery County in the Woodlands, one in Fort Bend County in Stafford, and one in Waller County in Brookshire. And those facilities are one-stop shop for health and human services. So we have all of the services located in one facility that individuals in those communities can access for their needs. As well as I provide oversight over our disaster recovery work after each of the natural disasters that we've had. So that's my area of oversight.
Wow, you've had a busy year then. Wow. Absolutely. And all trying to do it from home remotely. And wow, thank you for what.
Some remotely and some going in the office as well.
Wow. Thank you for what you do for Houston. This is why we want to tell people there are so many amazing Houstonians out there that make Houston home, and you are absolutely one of them. So thank you for your work. That's amazing. What are the top needs? I know you have your ear literally to the needs of the community. What would you say are some of the top needs facing the Houston community during this year of the global pandemic that maybe are greater than what you've seen before or different than what you've seen before?
Sure. So our top needs right now are related to utility assistance is our number one need at this moment, followed by food programs, rent and mortgage programs, medical care and services, and then housing programs. That's the top needs for to date for the entire year. I will say that for COVID related needs, we've answered nearly 200,000 calls from our community related to COVID needs since March, and those needs are the same top needs. The only difference would be that for that, rent assistance is the number one need, then followed by electric assistance. COVID information and testing locations is the third top need. Governor Abbott announced that 211 was the place to call, the number to call to get the most best real-time information about where to go get tested. And so we've had an incredibly high number of calls related to COVID testing locations. And then we have a lot of calls related to food pantries, as well as other utilities like water and gas assistance programs. So those are the top COVID-related needs at this time.
Wow. Can you share a little bit about some of the organizations that United Way is connected to? I know what I love about United Way is that it's really the network or the hub. I see it as all the nonprofits across the area. So you share some examples of the types of organizations that you all fund and support and refer out to when people call that helpline.
Sure. So United Way invests in over 150 different programs in the community. And those are some of the top referral sources for 211. But through 211, we also have access to over 5,000 different resources in our community that we can connect callers to. So United Way invests in partners that help us provide quality services to the community. Some examples of that would be we have investments in the food pantries that provide critical food services to the community. We have youth programs that provide quality enrichment, like the YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs. We provide Meals on Wheels programs for individuals that are homebound and need access to quality nutrition. We invest in behavioral health services and healthcare services in the community. So I would say that we cover the whole cycle of life, if you will, providing services to children, to families, to people rebuilding their lives, to our senior community. And one of the other initiatives that we have right now is our United Way Thrive initiative, which is really designed to help families and individuals acquire the skills that they need in order to be financially stable. And we do that through bundled services, for financial coaching, workforce development, and employment coaching, as well as those wraparound services that they may need. So we offer a host of an array of services ourselves, and we also invest in quality partners that provide the services in the community.
Awesome. I love that long-term care, that you're really not just about responding to the emergency, but helping them plan and move forward and get healthy long-term and get stable long-term. That's awesome. So some of the initiatives that you have that are going on in the holidays, let's talk about that. Are there a certain initiative that United Way has, or that some of your programs that you invest in have that are specifically available to people in the holidays where there's need?
So this year has been such an unusual year, as you will know, due to COVID. So many of the programs in the community that are offering holiday programs are doing it very differently this year than in prior years. So right now, the big push is for Thanksgiving programs. And in the past, there's been a lot of community kind of Thanksgiving dinner meal programs that we would go to different community centers and provide those meal programs, and they would be provided. For instance, Citywide Club has a huge gathering for Thanksgiving usually. All of those programs are now doing curbside services and providing a Thanksgiving meal in a curbside way to allow for social distancing and to be able to have a safe way to provide those services. So there is several of our programs in the community and food pantries in the community that are providing Thanksgiving meals and baskets through their distribution. So individuals that need access to that program should call 211 and ask about the local food pantry in their community that may be able to help them with a Thanksgiving meal. And I know many of those programs right now are also planning for the Christmas holidays and what services they'll be able to provide in terms of curbside delivery of toys or gifts for children that need access to that, as well as additional, food needs. And so it's going to be a little differently this year than ever before. But I think our community partners are doing a fantastic job of addressing that need.
Awesome. Yeah, y'all, as well as everyone else, we've all been pivoting, and it sounds like y'all are pivoting to meet those needs in a safe and healthy way. And I'm so thankful that you are still able to provide those programs, even though it may look differently this year in particular. So, do you have any or a story that comes to mind, a success story? I know you've been with United Way, 19 years, I was reading? Wow.
Oh, a long time. It's actually over 25 years.
Oh, 25 years. Wow.
5 years in different positions and in different locations, but over 25 years. Definitely, there's every single day there is a new story of someone that obtained success by going through one of the programs in our community. There's a story just I heard last week of someone that we were helping at one of our locations that came in. She's a young mother that is going back to school and working part-time, trying to provide, as a single mom does, provide for her children, but also working on obtaining her goals in terms of getting her degree so that she can have a wonderful career for herself. And she met some obstacles and needed some assistance. Because of COVID, her hours have been reduced. She was having a difficult time making rent and was at the point of facing eviction and needed to figure out how to address some of those basic needs. And so our employment coach worked with her to help her in terms of figuring out employment possibilities and opportunities. Our basic needs partners worked with her to help her stay in her home and be able to maintain it while she stabilizes again. So those are the types of services that require that bundled approach.
Yes.
It requires lots of partners working together to be able to address the needs of a family. And that's just one family. And our partners do this every single day for the countless individuals that call us. And so I'm always so privileged and humbled to work here and to see that in action. And it really motivates me. And that's why I've worked for the United Way for so long.
Yeah.
Because of that ability to be able to help in families grow and develop. And that assistance is generational. That young mother, once she gets her career and has a great career, will also be able to provide for her family in a way that she wasn't able to before. So it really, and those children will have greater opportunities for education and to meet their goals as well. So I'm incredibly honored to do this work, and I never tire of it. And I always see that the needs are so great, and so we are working so hard alongside our nonprofit partners to be able to address the need.
Awesome. I love the holistic way that you've helped that mother. And that sounds like the approach that you are taking in every circumstance. It's really partnering together with so many organizations across Houston to really holistically meet the need and not just have them call and get assistance from here and there. They can go to one place and really find all the help that they need to not only help in that emergent situation, but also help them move forward for financial freedom and for stability. And like you said, that impacts generations. That is so awesome. So how can Houston rally to help the United Way right now during this season? What can we do as individuals in Houston and as businesses in Houston to really help in the efforts that you are making to help our fellow Houstonians?
As I said before, the needs just have never been greater. So if individuals have the ability to donate either their time or treasure or their talent, we encourage them to do so. On our website at unitedwayhouston.org, you have the ability to donate online, or if you have a company and you would like to run a campaign, please don't hesitate to contact me, and we can put you in touch with the donor relations team who can help and develop that campaign, as well as we have volunteer engagement opportunities on our United Way website, and there's many of our nonprofit partners post their volunteer opportunities also on volunteerhouston.org. So we encourage individuals to go on that website if they have an ability to volunteer. Many of the nonprofit partners in the Houston area are responding so well in terms of how do they help volunteers continue to volunteer even and have gloves and masks and all the safety precautions in place so that we can continue to mobilize volunteers to be able to help us do this work and to increase our capacity to do this work.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely be helping you get that word out. Hopefully, people will definitely contact you. Do you want to give out your contact information, or is it best to just go straight to the website?
Certainly, either way, they can go to the website at unitedwayhouston.org. They can also contact me. My phone number is 713-685-2455, or they can reach me on my email address at mvazquez@unitedwayhouston.org.
Awesome. So if you want to get involved, or your business wants to get involved or run a campaign, I know in some of the companies I've been with in the past, we've had United Way campaigns, and it's really been such a great team building opportunity, as well as just creating awareness among the employees of what is available in our city and how we can personally get involved to help. So thank you so much. Another thing I was telling my friends that I do is I carry the 211 cards, the helpline cards that are available at some of the different branch locations, and I just carry them in my car. And anytime I see someone that's homeless, or if I'm going to give them funds, or if I'm going to give them some food, then I'll also just include that card and try to let them know about your services so that they can get the help that they need. So let's talk about Houston. What brought you to Houston?
Well, I grew up here. I have lived in the greater Houston area my whole life, and I married someone that also grew up here. So my families and our extended families live in this community, and so this is home. While I love to travel and visit other cities and states and countries, this is home, and I'm so proud of our community and to call Houston my home.
Awesome. And if you had a day off in Houston, where would you go? What are some of your favorite spots?
Well, this is pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, right. Right now, you'd stay home.
This is hard. But pre-COVID, I'd love to explore our Houston area museums, and I'd love to explore the parks. You can still do the parks, and that's still very safe. But I love to explore the museums and the art scene and all the fairs and festivals that happen in our community. The Nutcracker Market is
Oh, yeah.
a picture of this community, and that it's going online this year versus in person. But all of those types of activities I just enjoy so much. I would also say that I'm a foodie, so I'd love to hear about new restaurants in Houston.
Me too.
And visit some of the new places to eat. So what I love about Houston is the diversity, and so the cultural options that are available from entertainment to food, I just think is second to none. And so it's just a wonderful place. If you have a day out, there's lots to see, and you can't go wrong anywhere you go here in our community.
Awesome. We'll have to go to lunch and check out a new restaurant that you and I have never been to one day. That would be fun. Yes. So tell me about a Houstonian that you've met that has been an unforgettable one.
Sure. I've met several Houstonians that are great, but one of the ones that I would say comes to mind right now, actually, I have two that have really come to mind right now. Dr. Stephen Kleinberg with Rice University has been a longtime friend and supporter with the United Way. And the reason I'm mentioning him today is I recently read his book, Prophetic City. That is an interesting read, and I have it on my bookcase.
We have it right here, too.
It has wonderful historical information about Houston. It was such a fascinating read that I couldn't put it down. I swear I read it in one night because I'd loved to hear from him about the changing landscape of our community and the demographics in our community. So he is just fascinating. I could hear him talk all day, and I would not get bored at all. Another individual that I've met through my work at the United Way is Jamie Roots, who's the president and CEO of the Texans.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating. And I will say that just last night, I finished reading his new book. He has a book out on leadership, that has a lot of information about his style of leadership, as well as his career, and a lot of information about the Houston Texans, which I found
Neat.
so I would say that is something else. I just finished reading that one last night, and it's called The Winning Game Plan.
The Winning Game Plan.
Yeah, so they're two really interesting individuals that I've met and that I've found fascinating. I love their books because it does provide an opportunity for individuals to learn a little bit more about our community.
Awesome. How neat that you brought up Stephen Kleinberg. He was actually our first guest on Houston is Home. So you have to go back and check out that episode. And we loved hearing from him. I was fascinated. I love his passion for the city and just how he started the research and has never stopped with the same questions. Really getting to know Houston and from the Houstonians themselves. It's fascinating. So awesome that you brought that up. How fun. So, okay, we're going to wrap this up. What makes you most thankful to call Houston home?
I would say I'm so thankful that we live in a community that has one of the best medical centers in the world, and that is even more important right now due to COVID. And so I am so thankful for those healthcare professionals. I'm so thankful for the social service partners that are all joining forces to help address the economic impact related to COVID-19. So on the healthcare front or on the social service front, that to me makes me very thankful to do what I do in this community every day. And so I couldn't be more thankful to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us today. And thank you so much for what you do for Houston. You are definitely a Houstonian to be celebrated, and all of your years of work for our Houston community. We just want to say thank you. And we will hopefully join with you, and hopefully our listeners will join with you this holiday season to really spread the word about the United Way of Greater Houston, its partner agencies, and the 211 helpline. So we hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. And again, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.